film or something? Or it's not.
We're back with Ronnie, and tell me more about. I want to hear about the specifics of the script. What they had you doing at phone.ronpaul2012.com, kind of what you expected, and what happened as you started making hundreds and then thousands of calls to Iowa, Nevada, and New Hampshire.
Well, it was an exciting process. I was a little resistant to go with the strict script at first, and I still believe that sticking to their program of having, if vast majority of those calls are actually, we get an answering machine, and sticking to their ideas, we would push a button that said that would give them an automatic robo call, you know, a pre-recorded message on behalf of Dr. Paul. But I thought myself, and I still do believe that we're more effective when we speak straight from the heart and tell them why we care about Dr. Paul, and so that's what I've been doing, and my friend Clay as well, and I still think that's a whole lot more effective. Ironically, we got a call from one of the from the headquarters or whatever, and they weren't satisfied. They were unhappy about that, and I just frankly argued back, no, we're doing what we think is most effective, and I've been at this a whole long time. And the guy who's in charge, he's actually worked for Bush. You know, I mean, he's a pro in what he's doing, but he's not necessarily as devoted to Ron Paul, obviously.
That was the supervisor. First, some guy called us, and he congratulated you on making over 2,300 calls, I think, at the time.
Right.
And then, if I'm understanding it right, you were insulted in some way, and then
that's right.
Things escalated, and the supervisor got on the phone.
Then the supervisor got on there.
And what happened from there?
He kind of was, well, you know, we're trying to stick to the script, and a lot of people, they put a lot of thought and effort into this, and so you think you know more than Ron Paul? And no, I don't think I know more than Ron Paul, but I think the people who are listening to the message are more likely to be affected by an honest, from the heart explanation of why I support him than some robo message. I mean, they're all sick of getting robo messages. In fact, one of those people complained to me, he's sick and tired of getting robo calls. So I know for that, at least for that one particular person, that he appreciated a real person saying how he really felt, me in particular, about Ron Paul. And I had a good conversation with that person, and I think I convinced him. And as time goes on, we're getting better at it, and we're convincing more people who are Mitt Romney supporters or whomever to just, you know, it doesn't take a whole lot. Just point out maybe a problem with those other candidates of whom they have many. Each one of those candidates are flawed. Everybody's, you know, nobody's perfect, but Dr. Paul is in comparison head and shoulders above all those other people. So it's been relatively easy for me to say these things, and I think we've successfully turned some minds, changed.
So can you tell me about some of the minds you've changed, some of the people you've talked to, the experiences you had with that, the experiences with leaving voicemail? Just real briefly sum that up for how that was for you in the phone campaign.
Well, it's been really gratifying, and I feel so enthused and rejuvenated by doing it. I mean, it's kind of again, it's sort of difficult to sit there hour after hour after hour, but then again, when you realize what you're doing and helping to share the joy and spread the news, and it's an act of love, and so it's again, a rejuvenating feeling for me. It's very gratifying. And so when we got that initial call from the headquarters complaining about it or hassling us about it, I frankly argued with them and told them, no, we're doing this, and you know, that's how it is. And the supervisor seemingly kind of agreed, and he let us off the hook. But then again, when I was doing another bunch of calls, this time by myself, and speaking with various people, I don't cut them off. I don't want to insult these potential voters, so I let them go on and ask me as many questions as they want. And as it turns out, at least one person was maybe over an hour, and I know one lady was probably over a half hour. And so the theory is that the organization behind this, the headquarters, they pay attention to how many minutes you spend with each caller, and they've decided, predetermined, that, well, no, we only want so many minutes. But again, I think they're wrong. We need to I mean, we're the people making the calls. It's our time we're putting into this.
And tell me about some of the good experiences, some of the conversions we've had over the phone where people say, "I will check out Ron Paul. Thank you for calling me. Thank you for what you're doing."
We're learning, and I'm proud to say I'm getting better at it. And at least 2 people were committed to other candidates, but when I was able to share just a little information about their preferred candidates and back it up with information about Dr. Ron Paul, I changed their minds.
I think it was more than 2.
Oh yeah, I think so too. But I wasn't keeping a tabs or anything. But
sure.
And actually, you know, as time goes on here, like yesterday, a bunch of them, and so we're getting better and better. And then suddenly I got a call when I was in the midst of doing this. I got a recording that said, "Sorry, we have decided that you're not doing this right, or the manager has decided to cut you off or not let you do this anymore." What?
Disable your access.
Yeah, and so I don't have the capacity for my phone number anymore for some reason. Now maybe that's changed by now. Maybe they've come to their senses. But as far as I know, I'm in effect banned from doing this basic grassroots effort. And which frankly reminds me of how when I would join the Ron Paul meetup group last time he ran in 2008, here in Austin we had the world's largest meetup group, but the people who were running the meetup group kicked me out of it. And I've been doing Ron Paul work for a long time, and they kicked me out of it, and I think because of my controversial name, Ronnie Reeferseed, they don't think that that's, even though Dr. Paul's on my side on this issue, they just figured, well, we'll just cut him off, or we decided we don't like it, or whatever. So I was literally thrown out of it twice, the Ron Paul meetup group twice, and I had to call basically his family that I'd gotten to know over these years and tell them what's going on, and sure enough, they made sure that I was back in the process. And so it's kind of like the same things happen. Now me and my friend Clay here have been working really hard on and effectively, I do believe, on this phone situation, but they've cut me off.
They've cut me off too, because I've been coming over there and we've been motivating each other.
Yeah,
you know, we've been helping each other.
That's right.
On this, so
yeah, so they're cutting off 2 people.
That you've now been banned, not only from the city council, but you've been banned from the Ron Paul Revolution phone campaign.
It's nonsensical. It proves to me that the people, it's not Ron Paul, obviously. It's those people who, underlings, who are actually not really working for Ron Paul. They're kind of hijacking it. I think it was more than a mistake. I think it was because they recognized devotion and love coming from me and Clay, that they came up with an excuse to cut me off, and it's very disturbing. But I still think it's a great program, and I really urge everybody out there to just get online, type phone, PHONE, ronpaul2012.com, and you get involved. They get you on the program, and they'll supply you with phone numbers, give you a script to use, and it's a great project. It's going on, and I'm really hurt that I can't be doing it, and I'm not doing it right now. And I guess it'll be till I talk to somebody in the office to educate them again to let me through or something. But so it's I have mixed feelings about it, but I'm still very excited. I think everybody else should do what they can, especially if they don't cut you off like they did me. So.
Well, we got to get you back in the phone campaign. I think most Ron Paul supporters would agree that someone as enthusiastic as yourself and someone as dedicated and devoted, someone who's campaigned for Dr. Paul for nearly 20 years now, I mean, we need you on this phone banking system.
Thank you, sir. I couldn't agree with you more. And so, again, I think it's an example of how not really Ron Paul's, people who are not really Ron Paul's friends, or people who are not really on our side on this, are kind of hijacking it. Or maybe they're just mistaken, but it just seems so idiotic that there's got to be, I don't know, an explanation for it. And I hope they come to their senses, because we're gonna win. Despite what they do to me, we're gonna win. But I'd sure like to be able to help out even more.
And can you can we just end, if you would please tell me something about what attracted you to Ron Paul, or a message you have about Ron Paul that you want to share with all the viewers out there that are watching this?
Well, yeah, I've been learning, of course, about Dr. Ron Paul, and the more I learn about him, and try to share it in a concise way with people, especially when we're leaving a message as opposed to a robo message, which I got complaints about from one person I called. He said, well, I'm sick and tired of robo messages, but when you had your personal, heartfelt explanation, I listened to it. And I still do believe that's a whole lot more effective, and so that's what we need to do to win, is we have to throw down these scripts, let people talk from their heart, and we'll just be more effective. And that's what we're trying to do. Share the joy is what I tell them. I'm trying to help share the joy. Get to the news, and maybe get feedback from you. Get some questions from them. But then again, when it's leaving a message for them, I'll say, well, instead I can give this to you, ronpaul2012.com. It's a great source of information, and everybody can look at it. ronpaul2012.com. There's a word that says issues. You just click on that word, and a whole new menu drops down. You can examine Dr. Paul's ideas on a whole bunch of different concepts, like over 13 different ideas that you can see exactly where he stands. And so it's really an effective tool if it was used properly by more people, I believe.
Well, thank you so much, Ronnie, and Happy New Year.
Hey!
I hope you have a wonderful 2012, and thank you for helping me out and spending this wonderful New Year's Eve.
Happy New Year to you, and it will be a Happy New Year with Ron Paul in 2012. Yes, yay! Yippee!